this is my stepping stone into being strong and to understanding that food is fuel and to knowing that like my macros are my macros and I am going to eat them because they make me feel good, they make me look good. And I think it really helped me mentally in that aspect.
Thanks for joining us on College Prep University. I'm here with Anna, and today we're going to talk about food availability at college. So it's no secret that the freshman 15 is real. It's probably
So,
even more. I find, in a food scenario or nutrition scenario, our options have became better, but also worse at the same time. So when you're looking at fast food or a lot of the college food that's available on campus, how does that look? I remember my college hall, it was a lot of hamburgers, chicken tenders, and if you were lucky, you could get a salad, but typically had a lot of, if it had meat on it, it was a ham, bacon, and then probably the highest fat ranch dressing in the
yeah,
world, which was really good. But you know, I was like, I don't understand why I'm gaining weight. I'm eating a salad or two a day, and I can't lose weight. Back then I didn't really
right,
know better.
right. Well, now I would say, so I'm at Oakland University, and I would say like with the new like health programs rolling out, like there are more healthy choices, I'd say. But at the same time, like you still got your hamburgers, your chicken tenders that are easy, like quick to like just grab and eat with your friends, your fries. Um, there are very limited healthy options. I would say if like you have to kind of like create your healthy options. So like going to like the cafeteria and getting like a protein shake instead of like ordering a meal would be like choosing your healthy option, or like having an apple or a banana that they have like just sitting outside of the cafeteria. I would say like for me, because I didn't live on campus, I was more so just packing all my meals in like my like 6-pack lunchbox and like just living out of my car for the rest of the day because I'm just there all day. It just doesn't make sense to like commute back and forth just for food. Um, but I did have a lot of like competitor friends who did live on campus, and they struggled a lot with that aspect because they found like, well, they were paying for a meal plan, but they weren't using it because they were going to get groceries anyways. So they were just honestly purchasing double the price. And like when they did try to use a meal plan, like a slice of deli turkey was like 14 fat. Like, like it was just
Yeah.
hard to fit those things in, especially when you're so low in prep. Like, and at that point, I feel like universities like don't necessarily take into consideration all different aspects. But I guess like nowadays, like luxuries or like food is and healthy food is considered a luxury. So not that it should be, because you know like there's so many people who are like trying to shift their lives and change their healthy lifestyles, work out, nutrition, but it's not really available at schools, and that's why we see the freshman 15.
Yeah, those meal plans are expensive too. So it really is something you don't want to waste. Now there are, I know my school let you roll over,
Yeah.
each quarter, which was nice. But depending on your school's rule, or maybe you're a senior and there won't be a next year.
Exactly.
Also, one thing I want to note is Anna lives in Michigan, and I always like to divide states as bro states and science states in the world of physique sport. So you live in a pretty bro state, to
Yeah.
be honest. I'm always still amazed. Me and Dr. Joe have been preaching macros for about 2 decades now, and we are
Yeah.
just still amazed by how many people just want to be on a meal plan, or coaches who are super busy coaches who just give out meal plans. So when you had mentioned people having too high of fat, I imagine you were probably helping them fit their food intake into their plan a bit.
Yep. And like I think like the whole macro approach, because I was like tracking very littly. Like I was tracking consistently, but like my food was very low before I like joined you. So you opened my eyes to the amount of food you can eat and still exercise and still do your like life. And people honestly like undereat more than they do overeat. I feel like it's just like the calorically dense foods that they're having. So if you're having like 2 tablespoons of like Caesar dressing, like that has so much more calories than like what you could actually be getting your nutrients from. But I would say that Michigan, majority of people are on meal plans. Like
Yes.
I know many coaches who do meal plans, but I know many now who are trying to do like a meal plan macro approach.
Mhm.
But for the most part, like all my competitor friends in Michigan, meal plans.
I can kind of agree with the meal plan macro approach. Like an apple is an apple is an apple as long as you weigh it. You start getting into the chicken fingers and hamburgers on campus. There is some slight estimation that has to happen. I would say if you do it once a week, it's not going to hurt you too bad. For most people, sometimes we have those people with not that great genetics and they just need to maximize every
Yeah.
variable. I
Right.
think that you could very easily get away with that and be fine. And we can talk about how we've incorporated intuitive eating even into your
Oh,
plan
yeah. And I
by
would say,
later podcast.
oh,
But I think that, like we've been able to be very flexible, which has been very nice.
I think as of recently, like when I first started, I would say like intuitive days and like going off plan was like not a thing. And not that I ever go off plan, it's just more so like in the improvement season, allowing yourself like that flexibility. On prep, like it's 100% to the gram all the time. But I would say like macros did give me that like approach of like, okay, if I'm on campus, I can get like a protein shake and I can substitute that for like whatever I was going to have previously if that's like my only alternative. So those types of things were like really helpful on campus and like again like the macro approach.
How much more successful do you think someone in college would be with macros versus a meal plan? Or do you think either would be okay?
Honestly, I would say macros would excel someone in a college undergrad program if they were to do that, just not necessarily competing, but like just lifestyle training. I think macros is definitely the way to go. I think that's why people don't really have like a full knowledge of nutrition right now, but also why Michigan doesn't have a huge population of competitors regardless, or young competitors, I should say, because we are all in college. And like, I feel like if you are put in your head, like, oh, I need to do a meal plan all the time, well, you're going to have to go out of your way a lot more and put those meals together versus like, let's say you are on campus and it's a little bit more convenient. You could still make it work, but people don't think they can.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that massive amount of planning with a meal plan, but you plan your macros to a T. So I would say just overall planning is key. Where a meal plan can kind of fail is kind of back to our first episode is schedule changes and finals week when you're super busy. I'm sure you had to do a few things on the fly a bit and type something into your MyFitnessPal that you didn't plan for, but still were able to hit your macros for the end of the day.
Exactly. And that's like what's important. Like let's say you're a substitute, you're like chicken, rice, and veggies one day for like a protein bar because you absolutely have to, like it, not an all the time thing, but like if you absolutely need to because of your time, like then I feel like that's a better alternative than going off plan.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's a great way to wrap up this one. So thank you guys for watching our episode on food availability. We will be back next week to talk about drinking and partying.